I'm delighted to join by Air Ambassador and All-Ireland winning captain Declan Hannon of Limerick, who is speaking to us today as Air launched their new Puck Tablet Challenge as part of their official sponsor of the GA Hurling All-Ireland Senior Championships. A reimagining of Puck Fada, Air's Puck Tablet Challenge to see the fastest team in the country win 5,000 for their club and a chance to play in Croke Park on All-Ireland semi-finals day. For more information on the competition, visit Air's social channels. Declan, how are you keeping?
Good. Very good, Jack. And yourself?
Good, good. I suppose the news broke there on Sunday night. You would have known for a while that you're out for the semi-final. I suppose, how was your initial reaction to the diagnosis?
I suppose you wasn't overly surprised that you'd be out for a couple of weeks anyway. You'd kind of get a feel for it yourself. Sure, it is what it is. I suppose just get on with it now and try and rehab away for the next couple of weeks. And, it's kind of day by day, see how it improves. And I suppose try and support the boys now as best you can.
Did you know fairly quickly in the Gaelic rounds that you probably would be out for a while?
It's hard to know. Like, I mean, you'd feel that there was something, a small bit of miss anyway. Like, but yeah, until you get a scan, I suppose, and the results, you'll be kind of hoping, for the best. But anyway, it is what it is, and you just get on with it now at this stage.
And there's a couple in the same boat, like Sean is obviously out for the season. Definitely, hopefully, we'll see you again. But I suppose it's probably reassuring to have a lad there going through the same kind of rehab as you.
Yeah, like in Limerick, even the last few years, there's been numerous injuries with obviously Sean this year. Only go back to last year with Keena, the two Caseys, Barry Murphy, Rich English. So we've gone through this numerous times. So I suppose looking at how the boys bounce back is comforting anyway in itself. So yeah, it's fine. Sure, you just have to get on with it.
Is it important for you as an individual that that you aren't expected to do the rehab at home on your own, that you're still involved in the panel and you're still going meeting the lads 2 or 3 times a week?
Yeah, it's great. It's great old fun there before training and after training, and meeting them all. So we're like a big family at this stage. We've been together for a good number of years now, and thankfully it's been a successful journey so far. So yeah, it's great to be involved in some shape or form anyway. And just watching them from the sideline is it's actually a privilege, to be honest, to see how they're getting on.
Yeah, what kind of a spectator are you from the sideline?
Not too bad, actually, in fairness. So not the worst. I've seen Sean said he kind of finds it hard to be watching from sideline right. But I'm not the worst. I'm fine. Sure, I suppose what can you do? It's just the way it is.
Yeah, and I suppose what kind of a captain are you then, Declan? Are you kind of vocal before the games at half times, or do you like to let your play do the talking for you?
I don't think I've been massively vocal in terms of roaring and balling and things like that. I don't know what kind of a captain I am, to be honest. In the way is what I'd say half the time. I'm not sure. I was just trying to make sure everyone's okay on the pitch and off the field. Because people have lives outside of hurling as well, and a lot can be going on. So it's just trying to support as best you can, I suppose. But there's no minding or anything like that. They're a fantastic group of people who just get on with work and life and training and do the best they can, which is all you can expect.
Talking about support there, obviously someone will have to fill in at centre back, and we won't have seen it from the start for a long time. Will you be giving hints to the boys in training, or will you just let them play their own game?
I think just let them after their own devices now. They're plenty experienced over the last number of years, even from training games and the inter-county games as well. So no, I'm sure if I offered advice, they tell me where to go quickly enough. They've enough on their plate to be worrying about now. So no, I've absolutely every bit of confidence in them, and whoever goes in there will do an absolutely fantastic job.
The season so far, obviously 500 months of champions, but it probably wasn't as smooth a sailing as it was in previous years. What do you put down, I suppose, a slowish start on the Munster Championship?
Sure, I suppose. Like, I mean, there's very little between any of the teams. You see that in all of the games this year, there was only a point in a lot of them are draws. Like, so, just the competitive nature of it makes them all very, very hard to win. So if you're doing well if you win a Munster Championship game every time you go out, you take a point win every day of the week, to be honest with you. I think probably the narrative was a bit false with looking at last year, people thinking that Limerick should win games by 6, 7, 8 points, and that's not the way it works. Like, so I suppose maybe we started off, like as I said, we've quite high standards that we want to hit every time we go on the pitch, and maybe just didn't get there. But look, we weren't let to get there either by the oppositions. So that's one thing we can really go after now in the next 3 weeks to get ready for the semi-finals. Just try and get to that high standard and try and stay there for 70, 75 minutes of a game.
Did the loss to Clare kind of ease a bit of pressure that you hadn't been beaten in so long, that kind of lengthy unbeaten streak was ended and you could just focus on yourselves and there was less talking outside the camp?
Maybe like I mean, we've never really have taken much heed of what's going on outside the camp anyway. So we'd always just have our own conversations within the the circle of players and management, and we'd have our own pressures on ourselves in trying to hit these targets and standards and ways we're trying to play the game. But it's probably from an outside point of view, definitely probably eased off in terms of the noise that was there about Limerick and what they were going to do. And obviously Clare beat us fair and square in the Gaelic rounds, in the round robin, and luckily enough we got the better of them the last day.
Yeah, talking about the last day, what was it like, I suppose, being in the Gaelic Crowns first and foremost? Like, it was an incredible day.
Oh, it was an unbelievable occasion. Like I mean, getting to Munster final is fantastic, but having it in Limerick was amazing altogether. It just reminded me so much of 2013, and especially looking down on the pitch after the match with thousands and thousands of green jerseys down there was amazing. Like, and it was fantastic. I'm delighted people aren't getting tired of going to the matches or supporting the lads. Because as I said the other day, we're definitely not getting tired of it. So amazing occasion having it in Limerick. The colour was just unbelievable. I think I'd never seen anything like it. So yeah, special to be a part of it.
And how do you keep that hunger up every year? Because it was fairly familiar to 2013, even though you're going for a 5 in a row as opposed to ending a 17-year wait 10 years ago.
Yeah, I suppose the boys are quite a driven group of people, I suppose, and want to be the best every time they go training and every time they're in the gym, and obviously then every time they're on the pitch. So like hunger is never an issue. Like I think lads are smart enough as well that if they're lacking a bit of hunger, I suppose you're probably not in the right place. You probably maybe have had enough and you wouldn't be there. So yeah, hunger is just not an issue with this group, thank God.
The Munster Championship as itself, like, has just been incredible this year. I suppose you feel privileged to be playing in those games every week, because obviously it became knockout once you got Tipperary and Cork and Clare, and
Yeah.
how enjoyable is it to play in the Munster Championship?
That's unbelievable. Sure, it's when you're a young fella, like you'd be looking at the Munster Championship games and saying, "Geez, I'd love to be there." And luckily, the last few years we've been in the thick of it, so it is a privilege. It's amazing. Like this year, in particular, I suppose in terms of the attendances at matches, they were massive. Like in all the Gaelic grounds was full to the rafters now for 2 or 3 games, and yeah, absolutely special occasions, and we're trying to enjoy it as much as we can as well. You can try to get lost. The enjoyment part of it can get lost. I suppose with the amount of pressure that fellas might feel in the run up to games. But no, we're trying to have fun with it as well and just enjoy the journey we're on.
Yeah, and obviously a 6 month title for you yourself, Nicky, Dave Reedy, and Graham Mulcahy, the only ones to get to 6. Like, do you allow yourself a moment to reflect on that achievement?
Yeah, you don't have time to be honest. You're kind of always on to the next thing. But even after the last day, like the 5 in a row, wasn't even talked about before the match. It was only after the match lads kind of started. Geez, that was 5 in a row in Munster, which was amazing. Like years ago, we struggled, to win a game in Munster, and to see where we are now is I suppose it's a credit to the lads and the hard work that's gone on the pitch and the management team for bringing us along with them as well.
And you obviously go back out into the field afterwards when the crowd is gone and have your own time together. How important is that for you as a group before you go into the madness of Limerick, that you do have a chance just with yourselves?
That's brilliant. I find it really enjoyable. It just gives you a chance to sit down and have a chat with the lads that you mightn't get to do, if people are rushing off after the game to go wherever they are. So yeah, that hour or two after a game sitting in the Gaelic grounds when it's quiet and it's just kind of yourself, the players and the management team. It's really, really nice. Yeah, so it's actually probably my favourite part of the day, to be honest.
And obviously for some lads, it's their first Munster medal. But how impressed have you been with the young lads coming through in recent years, like Cahill and Adam? And Colin all came on the last day and they've really integrated themselves into the team.
They have. They've been fantastic. Like they kind of came in ready made for it, and have taken on the leadership of the group as well. So they've gotten stuck in and been quite vocal in everything we're trying to do, and are trying to push the standards as well. So yeah, I was delighted for, I suppose, in particular Adam the last day he came on. We were saying he was the best blood sub that ever played. Came on in a GA game. Came on for about a minute and got a point and came back off. So he did great. Obviously, he went back on and they had a tough day the day before with his uncle passing away. So I was delighted for him. He did really, really well. And the same as Cahill and Colin. So yeah, I feel very lucky now to be involved in a group like that.
And obviously, win the Munster Championship is what you play for, but you get a huge break now, 4 weeks. Obviously it'll come too early for you, but the likes of Keane and just the rest after the Munster Championship, it's a huge bonus to have that break.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, we'd 5 games in Munster, and every single one of them went down to the wire, really. So these are 75-minute games that lads are given everything they have, and a lot of games in a short space of time. So you don't have much time to recover when you're in the thick of that. So I think it's definitely a bonus winning the Munster final and have the extra couple of weeks then to, if lads have niggles and anything like that, to get them right and then train hard for the 3 weeks in the lead up and off you go again. So yeah, I think it's been beneficial towards the last few years anyway. So hopefully it'll work out this year again.
And will you watch Galway and Tiff?
I won't. Like, to be honest, I tend to stay away from hurling whenever we're not training or playing games. It takes up such a massive amount of time. That's when you get a bit of if you've been evening off, tend to go away, maybe go to the beach or go for a walk or a swim and just chill out and get away from hurling for a while and just switch off from it.
Yeah, and just touching on the puck tapper thing, have Adair had a crack off that yet?
I hope so. I keep telling them Tinter, like, you get a chance to win €5,000 for the club and get to play here in Croke Park in one of the All-Ireland semi-finals. So, I hope they enter. So yeah, of course, it's a massive opportunity for any clubs to get involved. It's a fantastic initiative as well.
And has there been any thought put on the club championship? Like, it's probably only the ones a month away, or just fully focused with Limerick first?
Sure, look, I haven't had time really to think about the club championship at the minute. I know the lads are playing away. They were playing the league semi-final last night. So they're working away hard and they're doing everything they can to get ready for the club championship. So looking forward to that as well. It's fantastic. I think last year was brilliant in Limerick. A lot of new venues were used, which was great. So looking forward to that as well. But just currently, it's kind of forward to the All-Ireland semi-final.